We live in a time where it's cool to be evil. And if you are speaking the truth, then you are considered lethal. Dang. Please do not let them deceive you. The Most High is coming back soon with vengeance and wrath for the evil. I do not care if they kill me. You see, 'cause my soul is immortal. The money and gold not important. The Most High restoring the order. I pray for your sons and your daughter. For real.
Hey, what's good, fam? So I wanted to get into some not so familiar characteristics of the Most High. I definitely wasn't, looking at these things when I was before my awakening, and when I was still in the church. Okay, so as we continue to awaken, to learn more, and have more understanding, according to the Ruach that's in us, that's teaching us, more of this is coming out, and we're having to unlearn more as well. So I just wanted to bring these characteristics out of the Most High, because these characteristics we're going to go over today is kind of the humor of the Most High, and definitely a lot of sarcasm. And it's just interesting to me, but also that way we can have an accurate molding of the image of the Most High in our hearts and minds. So this is Psalm 2. Okay, I'm just going to start at verse 1. So it says, why do the nations rage? So here, nations, we get the footnote, it says Gentiles. Okay, why do the Gentiles throng tumultuously? Okay, so that's synonymous with rage. And the people plot a vain thing, a worthless or empty thing. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against Yah and against his anointed, saying, let us break their bonds in pieces and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens shall laugh. The Adonai shall hold them in derision. Then he shall speak to them in his wrath and distress them in his deep displeasure. Yet I have set my king on my holy hill of Zion. Okay, so down here, the rulers are taking counsel, they're making their strategies. The Most High is up there just laughing. And I mean, he's laughing because he knows what is coming to them. So I just thought that was, it really shows like the character of the Most High. Like, but also, just a side note, because I really love running into these messianic prophecies. But notice here in verse 3, it says against Yah and against his anointed, right? So Yahusha is coming up here. And then, let's see what this footnote says. The commission one, Mashiach. Okay, against Yah, against his Mashiach, or anointed. And then, let's see. Okay, so down here, verse 6, again, it says, yet I have set my king on my holy hill of Zion. Okay, this is exactly what John saw in the book of Revelation. Remember, he saw King Yahusha on Zion, Mount Zion, and the first fruits with him. So there's already two references to Yahusha here. And then verse 7, it says, I will declare the decree Yah has said to me. Okay, so this is not the Most High speaking, right? You are my son, today I have begotten you. Okay, ask of me, and I will give you the nations for your inheritance, and the ends of the earth for your possession. All right, you shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall dash them to pieces like a potter's vessel. Okay, so again, so here they're referencing Mashiach, right? And then all of a sudden, verse 7, he's speaking. Okay, remember, this is a psalm. So anyway, I just thought that was really interesting. If this portion, okay, Yah has said to me, you are my son, today I've begotten you. If that's confusing, go check out my video on the mysteriousness of Mashiach part 1. I go into that. Okay, but continuing on to my main point, that the Most High is up here sitting and just laughing at people as they're trying to plot against, his chosen ones, against him. He's not concerned. Okay, so Psalm 59. Okay, here I'm going to start verse 5 of Psalm 59. Awake to help me, and behold, you therefore, O Yah, Elohim of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharel, awake to punish all the Gentiles. Do not be merciful to any wicked transgressors. Selah. Okay, so there's a break in the song here. At evening they return, they growl like a dog, and go all around the city. Indeed, they belch with their mouth. Swords are in their lips, for they say, who hears? But you, O Yah, shall laugh at them. You shall have all the Gentiles in derision. I will wait for you, O you, his strength. For Elohim is my defense. My Elohim of mercy shall come to meet me. Elohim shall let me see my desire on my enemies. Hallelujah. Okay, so again, the Most High is just laughing at the ridiculousness of plotting against him. I don't even know how to explain how intimidating that must be. Like, I just imagine if I was trying to plot against someone and you look over at them and they're just laughing at you. It's not gonna work out. So anyway, okay, let's keep going. So here again, we're seeing a characteristic, a trait of the Most High that I feel has been passed over, by a lot in the churches. But I mean, we already know, as we're beginning to see all this truth come out, there's been a lot that's been passed over, obviously. But this is important because the image of the Most High has been molded according to what we were told in the churches. And so when I come across things like this, sometimes it's somewhat jarring because it doesn't fit with, what I had as my image of who he is. And so now we need to be kind of, unlearning so that we can have a true image of who he truly is. So we go to Proverbs. Okay, this is Proverbs 1, and I'm gonna read, and this is wisdom speaking. Okay, so I'll start in verse 20. Wisdom calls aloud outside. She raises her voice in the open squares. She cries out in the chief concourses. At the openings of the gates in the city, she speaks her words. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? For scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn at my rebuke. Surely I will pour out my ruach on you. I will make my words known to you. Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no one regarded. Okay, so she was disrespected. Because you disdained all my counsel and you would have none of my rebuke, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your terror comes like a storm, and your destruction comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Okay, so because she was disrespected, okay, she had her hands out, ready to help. And, she was ignored. So then, when the calamity comes, she's going to be laughing too. Where'd she learn that from? She learned it from the Most High. So there's actually an example of the Most High regarding this situation as well. So I'm going to go to Jeremiah 2 here. Okay, so this is Jeremiah 2. All right, and just for context, Jeremiah 2 and 3 is the Most High really pouring out his heart and how he feels regarding how his people have treated him. Okay, and he is going all in. So I'm just going to start in verse 26 though. As a thief is ashamed when he is found out, so is the house of Yasharel ashamed. They and their kings and their princes and their priests and their prophets, saying to a tree, you are my father, and to a stone, you gave birth to me. For they have turned their back to me. All right, so they turn them back to the Most High, and not their face. But in the time of their trouble, they will say, arise and save us. But where are your Elohim that you have made for yourselves? Let them arise, if they can save you in the time of your trouble. For according to the number of your cities are your Elohim, O Yahuda. So, the Most High's people turn their backs to him. So he's going to sit back and let, the gods that they were unfaithful to the Most High with, he's saying, well, you went running after these other gods, let them save you. Oh man. But I hope you guys see the correlation here with what wisdom was saying, okay, in Proverbs 1. All right. But all that to say, this is not a common characteristic, again, that is usually brought up. And so it's time to really begin to understand who we serve. Okay, I'm going to get into Joshua 7. I'll end up reading pretty much this whole chapter. And it's also going to give us some more understanding of who the Most High is. But also, I'm going to end up getting into generational curses here with this chapter, okay? So it's going to transition at some point. Okay, so Joshua chapter 7. But the children of Yasharel committed a trespass regarding the accursed things. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehuda, took the accursed things, so the anger of Yah burned against the children of Yasharel. Okay, so this is the summary of what's going to happen. Okay, so they're going to give the details, or I guess Joshua's going to give the details, but we're going to come back to this because this is a really good summary. Verse 2, Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Bethaven on the east side of Bethel, and spoke to them, saying, Go up and spy out the country. So the men went up and spied out Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said to him, Do not let all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and attack Ai. Do not weary all the people there, for the people of Ai are few. So about 3,000 men went up there from the people, but they fled from the men of Ai. And the men of Ai struck down about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate as far as Shebarim, and struck them down on the descent. Therefore the hearts of the people melted and became like water. Okay, so they lost this battle that they should have won easily. And now everyone is they've completely lost faith in the Most High. Okay. All right, so verse 6, Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell to the earth on his face before the ark of Yah until evening, he and the elders of Yasharel. And they put dust on their heads. And Joshua said, Alas, Adonai, Elohim, why have you brought this people over the Jordan at all, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Oh, that we had been content and dwelt on the other side of the Jordan. O Adonai, what shall I say when Yasharel turns its back before its enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land will hear it, and surround us, and cut off our name from the earth. Then what will you do for your great name? Okay, and another side note, notice that he ends it with, what will you do? Okay, right? What will Father YAH do if your people are wiped out from the earth? Then it represents a wiping out of your great name. Okay? Now, remember we started with lineage, and I've gone over lineage many other times in other videos. So hopefully you already understand that lineage is very important. Okay, and notice, Akan is the son of Carmi, who was the son of Zabdi, who was the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehuda, who was a son of Yaakov or Jacob, right? So we do see lineage according to your fathers, okay? And also we see that the name of Yah is specifically associated to Yasharel, okay, to the lineage that came from the man Jacob. So anyway, I just wanted to mention this, that is clearly consistency throughout Scripture. But anyway, okay, so what is the Most High's response to this, right? Okay, so the response here from Joshua verse 10. So Yah said to Joshua, "Get up, why do you lie thus on your face?" This reminds me of when I was a child and, you know, something didn't go your way and you start pouting, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't throw a full tantrum because I didn't want to get tore up. But, you know, you just show that you are displeased, right? And, you know, either my mom or my aunties or somebody was always there like, well, you better get up off the floor right now before something bad happened to you. So anyway, it just reminded me of that, like situations like that. But anyway, so verse 11, Yasharel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. Okay, so he's saying, the Most High saying, look, get up, okay, and wipe the, you know, all this off your face, because this happened because Yasharel was disobedient. Okay, it's not that he abandoned them, but they didn't act right. Okay, so anyway, for they have even taken some of the accursed things and have both stolen and deceived, and they have also put it among their own stuff. Therefore the children of Yasharel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they have become doomed to destruction. Okay, so they became doomed to destruction because they were disobedient to the Most High, and when they were disobedient, they cursed themselves. And because they cursed themselves, the Most High did not go out before them. Okay, go back in Joshua, okay, the book of Joshua, you'll see when the Most High first comes to him, he tells him, stay on the path of righteousness that I put before you. Don't go to the left or to the right, but stay on the path, and you will be blessed, and I will go out and conquer for you, that you may win the battle. Okay, so the Most High and his armies were going out before the Israelites, okay, in the unseen world, and they were destroying these wicked kingdoms that were set up in their land. So in our world, it manifested to the Israelites winning the battles. So in this case, he didn't go out before them and destroy that kingdom that was in the city of Ai. So when they got there, that the wickedness was still fully established. So that's what happened, and that's why the darkness was overcame them in that situation, because the Most High didn't go before them. Okay, so neither will I be with you anymore unless you destroy the accursed from among you. Get up, sanctify the people, and say, sanctify yourselves for tomorrow, because thus says Yah Elohim of Yasharel, there is an accursed thing in your midst, O Yasharel. You cannot stand before your enemies until you take away the accursed thing from among you, right? So you have to get rid of whatever, in this case, we'll see that somebody took something, but you have to get rid of that to ensure that it doesn't take root into the whole community, okay, into the whole community of Yasharel. In the morning, verse 14, in the morning, therefore, you shall be brought according to your tribes, and it shall be that the tribe which Yah takes shall come according to families, and the family which Yah takes shall come by households, and the household which Yah takes shall come man by man. Okay, so they're going to weed out and find out who was the one who was disobedient. Then it shall be that he who is taken with the accursed thing shall be burned with fire, he and all that he has, because he has transgressed the covenant of Yah, and because he has done a disgraceful thing in Yasharel. Okay, so Joshua rose early in the morning and brought Yasharel by their tribes, and the tribe of Yehuda was taken. He brought the clan of Yehuda, and he took the family of the Zarites, and he brought the family of the Zarites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. Then he brought his household man by man, and Achan was taken. Achan the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehuda, was taken. Now Joshua said to Achan, my son, I beg you, give glory to Yah Elohim of Yasharel, and make confession to him, and tell me now what you have done. Do not hide it from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against Yah Elohim of Yasharel, and this is what I have done. When I saw among the spoils a beautiful Babylonian garment, 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took them. Okay, so he broke this is one of the 10 commandments, right? And there they are, hidden in the earth in the midst of my tent with the silver under it. Okay, so they had to do all this, right, to find out the person. So Joshua doesn't trust him. So verse 22, so Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and there it was hidden in his tent with the silver under it. And they took them from the midst of the tent, brought them to Joshua and to all the children of Yasharel, and laid them out before Yah. Then Joshua and all Yasharel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, the silver, the garment, the wedge of gold, his sons, his daughters, his oxen, his donkeys, his sheep, his tent, and all that he had, and they brought them to the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, why have you troubled us? Yah will trouble you this day. So all Yasharel stoned him with stones, and they burned them with fire after they had stoned them with stones. Then they raised over him a great heap of stones, still there to this day. So Yah turned from the fierceness of his anger. Therefore the name of that place has been called the Valley of Achor to this day, the Valley of Trouble. Let's go back to the beginning. So now that we see that because of what that man did, the 36, was it 36? Let me see. Yeah, about 36 men ended up dying because of this one man's sin. This chapter, chapter 7 of Joshua is telling us something very important about generational curses. First of all, he sinned, and that sin rooted itself in the community of Yasharel, in the whole nation, just from that one man's sin. And more than that, it caused the Most High to leave them and not go before them anymore. Okay? That's really important, because it really explains why I feel like a lot of people would consider this a drastic measure that was taken, where he stole something and then he was killed along with his family, and they burned everything and everyone, and then they buried it. Okay? But it's not a severe reaction when you understand that this sin was going to root itself in the whole nation. Okay, so that's why you're seeing in other parts of the Old Covenant where certain sins require death. Otherwise, they're going to root themselves in the whole nation. So with that understanding, okay, and this is still in the Old Covenant, right? But understand this as well. The Most High is the same. He's the same person, right, that gave us the first covenant as well as the second. So even though the second covenant is through Yahusha now, we still have the same God, right? So what I'm saying is, we still need to be careful with these curses. We don't want to curse ourselves. And now we're understanding, I think it's really shown well in Deuteronomy 30. So I'll go to Deuteronomy 30 real quick. Okay, so Deuteronomy 30, remember Deuteronomy 28 was 2 chapters back from here, right? So this is a continuation. So he says, now it shall come to pass when all these things come upon you, the blessing and the curse, which I've set before you, right? Check. The blessing and the curse have come upon us. And you call them to mind among all the nations where Yah your Elohim drives you. Check, right? We're doing that right now. And you return to Yah your Elohim and obey his voice. Obedience, right? Remember that in the old covenant, to get right with the Most High, it was you must be obedient, right, to the law. The new covenant says, Yahusha said, if you love me, obey me. Okay, so obedience is the same in both the covenants. Okay, so when you call them to mind among all the nations where Yah your Elohim drives you, and you return to Yah your Elohim and obey his voice, according to all that I command you today, you and your children with all your heart and with all your soul, that Yah your Elohim will bring you back from captivity. So when we come back to Father Yah in our hearts, okay, completely, when we completely turn back to him, then he will move to bring us back from captivity. Okay, that's important, because looking at Joshua 7 and how the curses cling to us, okay, it makes more sense of the beast system that we live in. And what I mean by that is, for example, a lot of these Hebrews that's coming into fame, whether it be through celebrity status, as an actor, or in music, or in sports. Okay, it doesn't matter, right? So in sports, they end up dressing you up in an effeminized state a lot of times before you get in front of the media, right? This is done by design. We're not supposed to be doing these things. That's not who we are as those who serve the Most High. Okay? So by doing that, you're now influencing the other little Hebrew children that's watching you, right? The statement that's being translated there is that, these things are okay. They're not okay if you serve the Most High, though, because we're supposed to be like him. In doing that, this is just one example of us cursing ourselves, okay? That's why you're constantly seeing through media outlets, they will always show you Hebrews that are doing things that are abominations to the Most High, okay? To try and normalize it, to continue to keep us cursed, right? And as long as we keep cursing ourselves, right? Because the fallen can't curse us. They tried that a long time ago, and it didn't work out, right? Most notably with what's that dude? I can't remember his name right now. But he was so upset he started talking to his donkey. But the Most High almost struck him down before he even got to his destination. A king had brought him to his kingdom so that he could curse the Israelites. Okay, this was during the wilderness. Instead of cursing them, he kept blessing them. So anyway, all that to say, and then, don't forget like the blessing that's on Jacob, I will bless those who bless you, I will curse those who curse you. So Yasharel is protected already. And the fallen recognized that early on. That's why they were like, okay, well, we got to get them to curse themselves. Then the Most High himself will curse them, which is exactly what happened. The problem is we're coming out of these things. We're coming out of our stupor and our blindness, and he is awakening us. So we need to do better. We need to completely come back and turn completely to the Most High. That way we will no longer have these curses on us, okay? The 400 years are up, right? Like, now it's on us to just turn back to Father Yah. So once we do that, then he will bring us out of captivity. Once that happens, the curses are really going to begin to establish a hold on the rest of the nations. Okay, the Most High is not going to really, get into like the trumpets and the bowl judgments until his people are back home. Okay, so it's basically like a big hostage situation right now, right? So everywhere we went, these nations hate us, but at the same time, they won't let us go, right? So it's a hostage situation. This is also represented, if you guys remember, in Matthew when Judas the betrayer. So he betrays Yahusha, right? And then after that, he brings back the silver. Hold on. Okay, I'm just going to start in verse 3 of Matthew 27. So here it says, Then Judas, his betrayer, seeing that he had been condemned, was remorseful and brought back the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priests and elders, saying, I have sinned by betraying innocent blood. And they said, What is that to us? You see to it. Then he threw down the piece of silver in the temple and departed and went and hanged himself. But the chief priests took the silver pieces and said, It is not lawful to put them into the treasury because they are the price of blood. Okay, but they knew that because these are the same chief priests that gave him the 30 pieces. Okay, so these chief priests they're completely wicked. Okay, that's why Yahusha was roasting them all the time back then. But they, even in as wicked as they were, they understood the curse. Okay, so they understood that because of what Judas had done for that money was cursed. So that's why they didn't take it, right? That's why they said, because they are the price of blood. And so what they used the money for, they bought a field, and that field was called the field of blood, to let people know this money that was used to buy this field was cursed. So it's just interesting that, and this is, when Yahusha he had just died. Okay. This might even be before. Oh, okay. He hadn't died yet. He had just been betrayed. But anyway, they still understood this because Joshua, let's see how long ago that was. Okay, so here's Joshua, nearly 1,500 years BC. Okay, so and then here's where the chief priests are, like around this area in 1st century, right? So that's 1,500 years back, and they still know and understand the law, and at least enough to understand that if we take this money back, we're going to be cursing ourselves. So anyway, all that to say, think about all that we have done for you Israelites, all that we have done in our stupor since we've been in the diaspora. Okay, all this time we've been exiled. At this point, we're just now coming back to our heritage. So think about all the things in which we have cursed ourselves with all this time. That's why we need to be repenting. Okay, the Gentiles need to be repenting for what they did to us and what's about to, so that hopefully those who do repent and do truly show that they love the Israelites, that they love the Most High's people and accept us according to who He has made us, right? But as Israelites, we also need to be repenting for our sins, for the sins of our ancestors. Okay, just like Daniel did. Okay, it's the same situation, or very similar, right? He was also in the land of his captivity. I hope that was helpful regarding a little more understanding into the characteristics of the Most High, as well as generational curses. Okay, we need to come back to the Most High. Okay, that is so important, because once we do, that's when He's going to move for us and bring us out of captivity. So keep studying, family. Keep seeking Father Yah, Yahudi as well as Gentile, as well as the rest of the nations. Okay, all who serve the Most High. All praises to Him, the Most High Yah, and to the Lion of Yahuda. Peace, family.